Have you ever experienced the strange sensation of living a moment for the second time? What if those flashes were not illusions of the mind, but authentic memories of experiences you lived in other realities? Research shows that over 60% of people report having déjà vu. The most common explanation is that it's a glitch in how the brain processes information. But is that the whole truth? What if déjà vu is actually proof that your consciousness goes beyond the limits of one lifetime, reaching into experiences from parallel existences? In this video, you will discover how so-called past life memories are not just spiritual curiosities. They may hold the key to accessing new possibilities of existence, breaking invisible patterns that keep you locked in the same reality, and even creating a life entirely different from the one you live today. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment sharing experiences you've had that seemed impossible to explain. Your engagement is essential for this knowledge to reach more people who, like you, are searching for answers. There are memories that appear suddenly, almost intrusively. They carry scents, sounds, and powerful emotions, yet at the same time, they do not belong to your current story. It is as if they were borrowed from another existence. These fragments of consciousness can show up in many forms: vivid dreams that feel more real than waking life, déjà vu moments where time seems to collapse, natural talents that were never learned in this lifetime, or deep fears that have no logical origin. One of the most striking examples found in research is of young children who, without any formal training, display extraordinary skills in music, languages, or mathematics. Another common case is of people who carry intense phobias, such as fear of drowning or heights, without ever experiencing trauma related to those fears. Psychology calls this phenomenon cryptomnesia, a memory whose original source has been forgotten. Neuroscience explores it as potential residue from the brain's hidden patterns. But from the perspective of spirituality and quantum physics, the interpretation expands. What you are experiencing may be fragments of parallel realities surfacing into your awareness. These memories can be both opportunity and risk. Opportunity, because they reveal that you are not limited to the story you live today. Risk, because they may carry unresolved traumas from lives you have never consciously lived, yet which still shape your choices, your relationships, and even your emotional health. Perhaps you felt it. The impact of looking into a stranger's eyes and feeling an uncanny familiarity, as if you've known them forever. Or walking through a city you've never visited and recognizing its streets and corners with absolute certainty. These experiences are not random coincidences. They are signs that your consciousness is moving across dimensions of reality. And there is a reason these memories appear. The more you ignore them, the more persistently they return. It is the universe's way of reminding you that the life you are living now is only one of countless versions of yourself. Recognizing this may be the first step toward opening doors of transformation that until now have remained locked. When we talk about memories of past lives, many immediately think of religion, spiritualism, or unfounded mysticism. Yet there is something mainstream science rarely admits publicly. There are countless documented cases of people, especially children, who recall with striking accuracy details of lives they never lived in this existence. One of the leading researchers in this field was psychiatrist Ian Stevenson from the University of Virginia. Over decades, he investigated thousands of cases. Children described names, addresses, professions, and even the circumstances of their deaths in previous lives. Many of these accounts were later verified through historical documents, witnesses, and official records. Such evidence challenges the limits of a purely materialistic explanation of consciousness. This raises an unavoidable question. Are we looking at science, or something that resembles a form of quantum sorcery? Here, the word sorcery should not be understood as superstition, but rather as the use of invisible forces that remain beyond our full comprehension, forces that seem to operate outside linear time and ordinary logic. Quantum physics, for example, has already revealed that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously, and that mere observation can alter the outcome of an experiment. This brings forth a disturbing hypothesis. If matter can exist in many versions at once, why not consciousness? When someone relives memories of another life, perhaps they are accessing records from a parallel version of themselves. Déjà vu, in this context, might not be a glitch at all, but an intersection between two coexisting realities. The most unsettling challenge for mainstream science is that these phenomena simply do not fit into conventional explanations. They force us to question whether the mind is truly just a product of the brain, or if the brain is, in fact, more like a receiver for a consciousness that is broader, timeless, and multidimensional. If this is true, the memories we carry are not distant echoes of the past, but active portals that connect us to other versions of reality. The difference between science and quantum sorcery, then, may lie only in the level of understanding we have yet to achieve. For a long time, human DNA was believed to be nothing more than a biological manual, responsible for defining physical traits and health predispositions. But more recent research reveals that only a small portion of DNA has directly coded biological functions. The rest, long dismissed as junk DNA, is now being reconsidered by scientists as a vast repository of information we do not yet understand. And what if part of that hidden information is in fact a kind of spiritual archive? A record not only of the genetic inheritance of your ancestors, but also of experiences accumulated across other lives. Epigenetics already demonstrates that trauma can be transmitted across generations, influencing not only behavior but also physical and emotional health. This means that certain memories, even if unconscious, can be inscribed in the body. The question then arises, how much of these memories belong solely to family lineage? And how much might be fragments of yourself from other existences? Many researchers and spiritual practitioners suggest that DNA functions as a portal of access to multidimensional information. It may store not only biological data, but also energetic and vibrational records that transcend time and space. This secret code could explain why some people are born with extraordinary talents they never trained for, or with strong affinities towards certain cultures, languages, or professions. It is as if the body carries hidden keys, waiting to be activated once consciousness is ready. Understanding DNA as a repository of spiritual memory radically expands our notion of identity. You are not simply the result of inherited genetics, but the sum of countless journeys interwoven into every cell. To recognize this is to realize that your physical body is both a library and a map. And within that silent library lies enormous potential. The ability to access hidden records that may not only explain the tendencies and challenges of your current life, but also offer the very tools you need to rewrite it. So far, we have explored a crucial idea. Your DNA may not be just a biological manual, but also a hidden archive of spiritual memories. It carries fragments of experiences that go far beyond this life, reaching across generations and dimensions. Now, it is important to pause for a moment and reflect. What does this mean for your own story? How many of your fears, talents, and even life choices might be shaped by hidden information you never realized you were carrying? If these questions are already beginning to stir something within you, it is a sign that the message is sinking in. And it is in this state of openness that we can take the next step. Because it is not enough to know that there are memories buried in the body. We need to recognize how they manifest in everyday life, in dreams that feel too real to dismiss, in déjà vu moments that break the logic of time, and in abilities that surface as if they were practical recollections from another existence. This is what we are about to explore. Some experiences may seem small or trivial, yet they hold deep clues about the nature of consciousness. Déjà vu is one of them. The sensation of having lived a moment before, while knowing it is the first time, defies any simple explanation. For mainstream science, it is a glitch in the brain's processing. But what if it is more than that? What if déjà vu is, in fact, the instant when two parallel realities overlap? Vivid dreams are another revealing phenomenon. Many people report dreams so intense and detailed that they feel like real memories. They describe unknown places, cultures they have never studied, even languages they do not consciously speak. Some of these dreams repeat themselves over the years, almost like episodes of a parallel life surfacing in fragments. Then there are the unexplained abilities. Children who play instruments with mastery without ever having studied. People who learn a foreign language with remarkable ease, as if they were only remembering. Individuals who excel in certain areas of knowledge without any prior exposure. These talents can be understood as practical memories, functional recollections of other existences. What all these phenomena have in common is that they challenge the limits of rational explanation and point to the existence of an expanded consciousness. A consciousness that is not restricted by time, space, or the physical body in its current form. To ignore these signs is to waste valuable messages. Each déjà vu, each vivid dream, each unexpected ability may be a key to accessing hidden parts of yourself. They are not mere coincidences, but memory portals, and the more you learn to observe and interpret them, the closer you move to the possibility of consciously shifting your reality. So far, we have seen that memories of other lives can manifest as déjà vu, vivid dreams, and unexplained abilities. But what happens when these memories do not appear as gifts or subtle signs, but instead as invisible chains that hold you back? Many of the repetitive patterns you face today may not originate in this lifetime. Relationships that always seem to end the same way, financial struggles that repeat like an endless cycle, fears that paralyze you without any clear cause. These patterns may be reflections of unresolved experiences from other lives, fragments of memory still active within your consciousness. Psychology often refers to this as transgenerational trauma, passed down from one generation to the next. From a broader perspective, however, these can also be seen as karmic cycles, unresolved energies that move across timelines until they are finally understood and transformed. To ignore these patterns is to allow the past to keep writing your present. It is to live on autopilot, repeating old stories without realizing it. But once you become aware of these bonds, something powerful happens. You gain the possibility of breaking the cycle and choosing a different path. The essential point is this: these memories are not here to punish you. They emerge as invitations to growth. Every blockage is, in truth, a hidden key. Every repetition is an opportunity to awaken. And the more you learn to observe the signs and recognize the hidden patterns in your life, the closer you come to the power of taking full control of your own reality. Do you understand the invisible weight of the past and the importance of self-investigation? Transgenerational traumas operate in silence. They do not arrive as clear memories, but as recurring inclinations, disproportionate reactions, chronic self-criticism, fear of exposure, the need to please, or patterns of self-sabotage in love and finances. We often fail to identify them because being born into a pattern makes that pattern feel normal. In addition, family narratives, spoken and unspoken, shape central beliefs. It is dangerous to trust. Success comes at a cost. To feel is to be weak, while the body records protective responses that activate automatically. Self-investigation is the counterbalance. It is not about blaming ancestors or hunting for culprits, but about recognizing the mechanism that continues to write your present. A simple practice can help bring the invisible into the light. First, trace the repetition. In which areas of life does the story always return to the same point? Second, name the bodily sensation. Where does your body tighten when this happens? Throat, chest, stomach. Third, locate the voice. Whose voice does this inner phrase sound like? A parent, a grandparent, a figure of authority. Fourth, ask what it protects. If this reaction were a guard, what is it trying to protect you from? Fifth, offer an alternative. What is the smallest different action you can take today? A micro deviation from the usual script. When practiced regularly, and if needed with professional support, this process exposes the hidden logic of the pattern and restores your margin of choice. This is where the language of possible realities gains practical meaning. Each time you identify the trigger and choose another response, you shift the trajectory. Small choices repeated over time create a new field of results. Call this a timeline shift, a metaphor for how the body-mind begins to collapse into other possibilities. So far, we have seen that hidden memories can manifest as repetitive patterns, silent traumas, or unexpected gifts. We have also understood that self-investigation creates space to recognize these signs and transform them into conscious choices. Now, we take a step further. How can the mind itself be used as a portal to shift realities? The central idea is simple yet powerful. Your consciousness works as a focus of energy capable of collapsing possibilities. Where attention is fixed, reality organizes itself. If you live constantly on alert, expecting the worst, you reinforce timelines where fear dominates. On the other hand, if you learn to sustain images of higher possibilities, you open pathways to experiences that resonate with that frequency. There are practices that function as true mental portals. They do not require blind belief, but discipline and presence. First, observe recurring thoughts. Write down the ones that repeat daily, as they reveal the reality you are continuously feeding. Second, question the narrative. Every thought carries a story. Ask yourself, is this story inevitable, or is it only one possible version? Third, visualize alternatives. Choose one area of your life where you want change and create clear mental images of what it would be like to live that other reality. Fourth, connect emotion. It is not enough to think. You must feel. Allow yourself to experience in your body the emotion of already living that version. Fifth, practice consistency. Mental portals are strengthened through repetition. Small daily rituals create new neural and energetic pathways. These practices are not escapism. On the contrary, they are exercises in conscious focus. The goal is not to deny the current reality, but to expand your perception to include other possibilities and, in doing so, reorganize your paths of choice. Consciously shifting reality does not mean waking up in a completely different world overnight. It means aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with a timeline more coherent with what you truly want to live. It is a gradual yet consistent change that transforms experience from the inside out. Now, we will explore the traps of spiritual ego, when the search for past lives and reality shifting can turn into escape or illusion, instead of genuine awakening. The journey of accessing past life memories and exploring parallel realities can be liberating, but it also carries subtle risks. One of them is the trap of spiritual ego. When the mind encounters elevated concepts such as reincarnation, multiple realities, or the possibility of consciously creating the future, it can turn these ideas into instruments of illusion rather than tools of evolution. Spiritual ego manifests in several ways. One of them is escaping the present reality. A person may take refuge in stories of past lives or imagined future timelines in order to avoid facing the concrete challenges of the here and now. Another form is the feeling of superiority, as if accessing certain memories or having certain experiences made someone more advanced than others. There is also the risk of self-deception, when dreams, imaginations, or even personal desires are interpreted as absolute certainties of past lives or divine signs, without discernment. Instead of expanding consciousness, this path ends up feeding fantasies that divert from the essential purpose: to integrate, to learn, and to transform. It is essential to understand that accessing spiritual memories does not mean escaping the present. On the contrary, the true purpose is to use this information to bring light to the here and now. If a memory of another life does not help you become more conscious, compassionate, and whole in your current life, then it is being used as an escape rather than a tool. The antidote to the traps of spiritual ego is investigative humility, keeping the mind open but not naive, welcoming experiences while always asking what practical impact they bring to your daily life. What truly matters is not how many memories you access, but how much these experiences expand your ability to act with wisdom, clarity, and purpose. This leads us to how memories, gifts, and lessons can be transformed into real instruments of creation. And here we step into the boldest point of this journey: hacking the multiverse and consciously choosing the future you want to live. If past life memories function as traces of parallel realities, then the present you are living now is only one possible version among many. This realization changes everything, because it reveals that reality is not fixed. It is a field of probabilities in constant motion, responding to the way you think, feel, and act. Hacking the multiverse does not mean recklessly manipulating mysterious forces. It means understanding that by choosing where to place your attention and which narrative to feed, you begin to align yourself with a different timeline. Small daily decisions, when sustained with clarity and consistency, act as codes that program the direction of your life. The first step is clarity of intention. Without knowing what you truly want, you remain trapped in the repetitions of the past. Defining precisely what you seek is like tuning a radio frequency. Only then can you connect with the reality that matches it. The second step is emotional coherence. It is not enough to intellectually desire a better future. You must feel that future in your body as if it were already real. Emotions are the fuel that either strengthen or weaken the mental portals you create. The third step is aligned action. Thoughts and emotions open the door, but it is actions that confirm the choice. Each action, no matter how small, is a declaration to the universe about which line of reality you wish to inhabit. When these three elements, intention, emotion, and action, align, you become capable of consciously moving through the possibilities of the multiverse. The future ceases to be something that happens by chance and becomes something you construct, moment by moment. This is the deepest meaning of accessing past life memories. Not to collect stories or lose yourself in fantasies, but to use the past as a key to understand patterns, break free from them, and consciously create the life you truly wish to live. We have reached the end of this journey, and now you know. Past life memories are not just distant echoes, but keys that can reveal hidden patterns, open portals of transformation, and allow you to consciously choose the reality you wish to live in. Remember, true power is not found in collecting spiritual stories, but in using each memory, each sign, and each perception as instruments for growth in the present. When integrated, the past ceases to be a prison and becomes fuel for creating a different future. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced intense déjà vu, dreams that felt more real than life itself, or memories that did not belong to this lifetime? Share your experience in the comments. Your story may inspire and support others on their path of awakening. And if you've made it this far, leave this powerful mantra in the comments as a declaration of your choice. I choose the reality that sets me free. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join our community. Together, we are building a space for universal awakening, one choice, one reality, one transformation at a time. See you in the next journey.